Here's the Dubai goal. I'm looking to get around 187 and 186-ish. But you can see on 4 days ago, I was 193.2, or 192.2 actually. And a week ago, I was 193.2. And you can see here, today, I weighed in at 193.2 again. But I'm not worried. I'm not really worried because I had a couple of drinks this weekend and I had food late last night. My body's probably fluctuating a good bit, so I'm guessing in the next 2 days I should be in the 1.192 range, which would be a pound, 0.2, which is my goal, down from last week. If I can keep that going consistently a week up until Dubai, which is 5 weeks now, it'll be fine, it'll be perfect, it'll be smack on where I want to be. So don't get hung up on if a weigh-in doesn't go to plan. Like, things are not linear. I've talked about this an awful lot over my Doc Fitness page, but things will never go exactly the way you want them to. Like, we have one of the members in the gym where every 2 weeks we know said person is going to be off, whereas every second week. So every second week they're going to be off, or else they're going to be down 3 pounds. But that doesn't mean they're necessarily just down randomly 3 pounds in 1 week. They're probably down 1.5 pounds each week, but it's been masked weekly according to where their body fluctuates, and that's just the way it is for them. So I like to do weigh-ins weekly lately. You can see I'm doing these in an Excel spreadsheet because I want to prove a few points at the end of it as well, of how weight would fluctuate over those weeks. But I know I'm spot on track where I need to be. I did have my few drinks the weekend, but I factored it in. I had a bit less yesterday, and back training perfectly again yesterday, back training again today. So nothing will change for me, and yeah, I left the tripod at home today, so we'll see how this goes. But I just wanted to bring up a point about what I'm doing behind me, the fundamentals. I'm working on a lower body day today. I'm working on some heavy squats, some heavy deadlifts. And if you've listened to any of my stuff before in terms of movements, squatting movement and a hinging movement, like, so people want fancy shit. They want to change exercise, they want to change programs. They want to know what's the best way to do X, Y, or Z, what's the best exercise for this, or what should I be doing for X, Y, or Z. And the fact is, a lot of this stuff can be quite boring at times because it's showing up day after day, repetition of the fundamentals. That is it, it's consistency in the fundamentals. Being in a calorie deficit to drop body fat, making sure your veg is high, making sure your protein is high enough to sustain your muscle while you're dropping body fat so you don't look like a fucking, I don't know, gaunt swan at the end of it all. But in terms of your strength base, in terms of building actual muscle, it's repetition of the fundamentals. Nothing fancy about that, nothing about changing exercises every single week or every single day or anything like that at all. It's what our members do here, it's what my guys do online, it's what I do, it's what I try to instill into everyone I meet daily. Repetition of the fundamentals, which at times can actually be quite boring if you're training on your own like I am doing today. I'm going doing heavy squats, heavy deadlifts, which sometimes you need a bit of a kick up the arse to get done because they require focus, they require a bit of mental toughness at times as well. So don't lose sight of the fact that showing up day after day after day, repetition of the fundamental drivers of a program is what is going to get you the results you're after. Stop looking for the fancy shit and stop looking for the fancy program because it's not out there. So that's 5x5 at 110. And again, like, what I'm all about consistency here is I'm progressing. Simplistic way for this month, because I'm trying to keep the weight level for each set, because the last ones I've been ramping up in weight, kind of having to push up, pull back. And I find that it's a lot better for every once in a while, to even mentally, to just see your exact progression week on, week out, where you pick a set weight for a set number of sets, and just increase that weight the following week, which is what I've done here. Again, I could have pushed a bit more. I'm gonna save that for next week because now we're on to our deadlifts.
Take it slow, but it's not typical. He already knows that my love is fire. His heart was a stone, but then his hands were on. I turned him to gold and it took
Here's the only pitfall being a hurler, is that deadlifts and RDLs for reps is a bitch when you have a fat finger from trying to catch a ball the night before. I think most GA players know the game if they lift. But then again, fuck all GA players lift. So we're back, it's post-workout time. I'm having a nice thick and lumpy pro oats, as we call them. Bit of oats, 60 gram of oats I have in this, with some protein powder, and I'm going to show you the way I do these up. So I'm known for my random bowls of porridge. In this case I had this 9 calorie pot lying around, so I tossed them in as well with some dark chocolate raspberries. And of course I've Gary Vee on the background while Kate's attempting to sunbathe in our jungle of a lawn out there. But yeah, this is what we're having for post-workout, back in for 3 more hours of coaching, and then for our lads this evening in the gym. So for me, in between coaching sessions, I used to do a lot of smoothies and kind of basic stuff on the fly, but something that I'm kind of getting more into tune with is just prepping in general, because I was slacking on it a long time. So when I like to do something proper, I set myself up for success. Now in this, I have some avocado, covering my fats, basic veg intake, and I have a lot of protein there with some Frank's hot sauce. There's some apple cider vinegar in there, and it's just some flavour on top. Very, very basic and not too plain. Again, it's going to be grand for me to eat very, very fast in between sessions, because I only have like 15 minutes to knock that back. But again, myself and Kate have gotten 10 of those to go through so we can prep meals in the day. But usually, because I'm able to get back home maybe for half an hour, 45 minutes some days, I'll top that up because I've those bulk cooks in the fridge and bring it with me. Very, very easy to do. But now we're off to shoot some training sessions in the gym while Kate's on Snapchat. So we're getting ready for Kate's online ladies program, which I cannot wait to produce, because here we're going through some deadlift mechanics and kind of a starting point after ladies have learned the hinge and stuff like that for the online program. But it's going to be possibly the first online program where there's a proper structure of breathing mechanics, the basic fundamentals in squatting and new movement patterns, and then build on that, come to the big heavy moves like big squats, big deadlifts, stuff like that, so the ladies can get strong and of course in incredible shape. So I'm just back from training the lads in the gym, and look at, again, like, I have most of this already prepped, but this stuff looks boring. It can get boring at times if you're not prepared well, but things like cooking plain turkey, yes, boring, I'll spruce up now in a minute and that, but this is the thing that I think we miss. Like when you look at Instagram and stuff like that as well, people hype training, nutrition to be something really, really special, and while there is ways to do that, the factor is most of the most successful people you'll see with, in terms of where they are in life, if they're a nice happy family and stuff like that, if they have serious fat loss results or serious muscle gain results, you'll find that a lot of it, well, 100% of it comes back to your daily routine, the consistency day in, day out of doing the fundamentals. And that is something that's never talked about, and it's something that needs to be driven home to people, because there's nothing magic out there. There's nothing will ever be consistency. Even if you're doing the most backwards arseways program in the world, if you're consistent with something, you will get a result. Late evening dieting essentials. So I'm just going to post out a YouTube or a Snapchat question here to some followers while I'm waiting for Game of Thrones to load. But let's see what we get back in relation to this vlog. So I'm waiting for that snap to get read and to see who snaps back first. But look at this for Emil. There is only veg and protein in that. Technically no full on carb source, but look at the bulk of that to keep me full. So let's see what snaps we've come up with. The first 5 were just generic questions. I skipped them. I went into the 6th snap, which is perfect for the theme of this vlog. So I think this one's from a lad, judging by the username, but DJ892 is this one. But anyhow, Dave, I'm fine Monday to Friday with food, but then weekend is a disaster. What should I do? The simplest answer to that is to be consistent on the weekends, but I know it's not as easy as that, because a lot of people fall off track on the weekends and they eat more food, which blows their calories for the week, which means that they're not going to get the weekly result at the end of the week. Now, I've talked about this a lot before, but just a quick fire off the top of my head to finish up this vlog with. The fundamentals day in, day out. If you're not in the fundamental of a calorie deficit to drop body fat 7 days a week, you're not going to get the results you want. You're not going to be down percentages of body fat, pounds of body fat by the week. And if you haven't checked out the video I've done with Danny Lennon in terms of specifics on that yet, that should be below this on my YouTube channel as well. But here's a little tactic that I currently do myself, and what I'm doing with a few of the clients as well, is that if you know that you do eat a bit more on the weekend, or if you know you're going to have a bit of alcohol on the weekend or something like that, save extra calories earlier on in the week. Now the easiest way you could do that is you could reduce carb intake drastically 3 or 4 days leading up to the weekend, which would probably save you anywhere from 100 to 300 calories per day. Bump up your veg intake so you're not feeling starving from that. And then when Saturday comes, if you have 3 days, for example, of saving 200 calories, you have 600 calories extra you can eat on that Saturday. That is the quickest tip I can give with that. You'll still stay in a deficit throughout the week, provided your weekly volume of calories is still in a deficit overall to drop body fat. But at least it'll make the weekend life a bit easier. But again, I think the weekend thing is in a lot of people's heads as well. They think that they have to, or they think that they cannot be consistent the weekends. They put this notion to their head, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy at the end of the day with a lot of things as well. So hopefully that tip was helpful. Hopefully this vlog drove home the point that, look, at the fundamentals day in day out, sometimes they're boring. Sometimes they need to be done. The fancy or the nitty-gritty stuff with training and nutrition to look better, fit and naked, and get stronger, just so you can be more confident in yourself, is never talked about the days where it's a hard slog. You have to be consistent day in, day out. You have to get strong in the basic fundamental movements like squat, pushing, pulling movements, nothing fancy. And that's about it really. I'm going back to my Game of Thrones to watch Khaleesi, and hopefully this vlog was somewhat helpful to even one person out there. But if you want to subscribe for more, guys, I'm going to try and get more into these vlogs. Again, I'm answering questions daily on my Snapchat. I'm using a lot of content from that for these videos. So if you haven't added the username #Doc yet, add it up if you want to get into my kind of random days here as well. But you can see this day wasn't crazy busy or fancy in any terms. I was coaching for most of it, got my training session in, got my eating in, fundamentals. Bye bye.